your host for the broadcast and chief editor at CIO News. This is our exclusive interview series with our digital innovators of India, the exclusive CIO interview series powered by Rockwell Automation. My name is Khushbu Soni, and on our today's episode, we have a guest who is the Chief Digital Officer, Mr. Dilraj Singh Gandhi from Tractors and Farm Equipment Limited. Mr. Dilraj has 20 plus years of experience in sales and marketing, supply chain management, and has led several digital initiatives and manufacturing transformations across value chain and has provided digital-driven innovative business advisory services and solutions. So Dilraj has disrupted traditional business model leveraging digital technologies like IoT, artificial intelligence, data analytics, video satellite imagery to accelerate growth, drive new leads of operational efficiency, enhance sales revenue, and improve customer experience in manufacturing, automotive, transformation, and logistics industry, also dairy and agriculture sector. Mr. Dilraj is being hand-holding organizations to embark on Industry 4.0 journey, and he's successfully been working with various organizations in his journey of career. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you on CIO News episode, and I'm really looking forward to learn, on this episode from you.
Thank you, Khushbu. Thank you for such an elaborate introduction, and it's good to hear from you. I'm privileged to be a part of this series, and I'm humbled.
So, Mr. Raj, my first question is, what is the vision, of yours on digital transformation, and what are the top few technologies you see that can help you achieve that vision in transformation?
So, Khushbu, our vision originates from our reasons of existence, and it merges or it deep dives into the same origin. And I'll say our reason for existence is farmers, right? So whatever we do, whatever we envision, whatever we try to create, either in our functional level or at an organizational level, we think about farmer as a core intent to be benefited. So my vision is also, our cafe's vision is also surrounded at the same. So it's very simple and straightforward, no jargons. It's very simple that our vision using digital as one of the levers is to empower the farmers, right. Empower each and every farmer in our country who's engaging with us one or the other way. Empower them for decision making, empower them with the right informations, empower them with the right set of processes so that they are able to manage the things. So it's all about empowerment. Vision is to empower each and every farmer in our country. That's one part of the vision. That's the front end. And the back end vision is very simple. Again, empower the employees. Empower them with the data, empower them with the insights, empower them with the right productive tools, with the right set of various technologies, so that they can be the best for what they are supposed to do. Right. They are supposed to use their mind for strategic and tactical thinking, leaving operational aspects to be done by the machine. Right. They're supposed to think for what's going to happen down the line, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They're supposed to be agile so that they can take care of any circumstances in the country. So we need to empower them. And how digital can play a role? Yes, there are various paths to that, but that's a vision. Empowerment is a core vision, and rest all rotates around it, whether it's customer experience, whether it's business outcomes, whether it's revenue enhancement, new business model. These are all in offshoots or the enablers. I'll put it that way. Now, your second piece, technology. Now, many people ask me, what's your technology? I say that technology is the least worry for me, honestly. Even if I'm a digital officer, it's a last worry. The biggest important thing is your business model right? Right. So my core take is independent of the technologies. Let's fix up our business model. Of course, in business model, we need to be sure that we are able to leverage best of the best technologies. When I say best, it doesn't mean high end. Best is also as nimble as SMS, right? Or it could be as diversified as integrated realities, including mixed reality, virtual reality, or augmented reality. It could be as simple as dashboarding, or it could be as intelligent as artificial intelligence. The core is no one technology can give you any result.
Correct.
So it's an amalgamation of multiple technologies who needs to sit on that business model and steer that business model with customer and employee as a core part. So your business model has to be right. It depends on what business model you are building, what's the outcome you're driving, and then you start looking, hey, what all technologies are enabling this. Or the second way is, I know certain technologies, using them, how can I create a right business model? If the business model is not correct, probably then the things don't fall in that track. So technology for me is important, but I can't say that this technology is better than that. No, it depends on the usage, it depends on business model, it depends on various other fundamentals, right? If they are correct, then I'll be able to use it. Otherwise, the technology has no meaning for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's for the benefit of the business, right? And if that's not in place, then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, otherwise many times it becomes an overkill. Many times it's not giving the 100% results out of investment. Right. And anyway, we are not a company who is into incubation of the startups where we experiment with technologies. Yes, we do some experimentation, but that's a limited piece. I can't have over-ending concept building and experimentation going on.
Absolutely. Understood. Awesome. So, what do you think are the top success criteria to build a digital transformed organization?
Very right. I think the most important thing is people mindset change.
Yeah.
Change management, and how do you handle the change management? How do you make the people unlearn the legacy, and how do you create an adoption? So that's a first, I'll say the first criteria.
Correct.
So building the framework, the approach around is very, very important. The second is the clarity on the scope. What is the problem you're trying to solve?
Right.
If you're trying to solve 10 problems and none of them are solved, it has no meaning. So another, I'll say, toll gate or the criteria is that how sharp is the scope and the problem statement.
True. True.
Right. And the third criteria is to ability to assess the success of implementation. When I say success of implementation, it's not about typical project management or program management looking from cost side, time side, or some other functionality. No, it's all about if I signed out certain metrics, which are quantitative or qualitative or a mix of both, am I moving in that direction?
Correct.
Am I crossing those toll gates very well, that I'm moving in that journey? Because it's a journey, you won't achieve it on day one, but there are certain toll gates to reach to certain milestones. So am I crossing those toll gates, or am I deviating from that? Right. If I'm able to fix up that, and if I'm moving in that direction, I think then I'm able to meet that criteria of digital transformation.
Right.
We always believe, Khushbu, that whenever you bring some digital initiative, it can either have an incremental benefit or it can have a transformational benefit. Now, how do you really differentiate the transformational benefit? Very, very simple. Five check boxes. Is it disrupting your current operating model? Yes or no? If no, it's not a transformation. It's business as usual. You're just fitting some technologies into it.
Correct.
Right. So first is it affecting your operating model? Second is it affecting your policies and procedures? If the policies are same, procedures are same, then what's the big deal in it? You have just fitted some technologies. Right. So the second is, yes, to what extent is it affecting my policies? I do need to change certain policies. I do need to change certain procedures. I do need to change certain ground rules on the ground. Right. And the third is it going to fit into the current business structure, or do I need to have a separate owner, separate metric? If no, then also I'm partially doing justice with that transformation.
Right.
Because very rarely it happens that you have done transformation and it easily smoothens up. No, it doesn't. You need to have an owner for the next 6 months, 8 months till it gets steady. and then you pass it down to the business guys to run it as usual. And in the meantime, you have a change management framework working at the back end. You have an operating model, which is now coming up, new operating model, new policies. So all that put together, then it creates a transformational change. So the metrics around it, the organization structure around it, the change management frame around it, and all those put together, I think, become the criteria for any larger beneficial digital transformation.
Absolutely, very well said, and I think very great insights that I think we've got. Awesome. We are in a dynamic environment, right? We were work from home, then it was work from office, it is hybrid. So how is your organization responding to a situation like this?
Before I respond to your question, Khushbu, I at times, it's a very amusing situation. I had been a consultant for the last 10 years with the big fives and all. So I had an opportunity to be with a number of top manufacturers in their boardroom. I remember in 2015-16, I was in one of the boardrooms and I was talking to the top leader of that company. And we were trying to bring out we were discussing a transformational piece, and I had it on the whiteboard. I said, you are here today in 2016. Imagine in 2024, you don't have any person on ground, still you need to run the business with this 6-inch device. How will you run it? And that gentleman said, hey, you consultants blow out of proportionate and try to create and scare us. There's nothing like this, that any date will come in the then you don't have anyone in the field and you are trying to sell anything.
Yeah.
And 2020, we had that situation. Right. Similarly, I remember one more incident. I was talking to, in the same 2017 odd, I was talking to one of the economy airlines in India. And incidentally, we were some statutory auditors for that organization from my consulting side. So I had an opportunity to meet their top branch. So I was asking them, hey, who's your biggest competitor in the country? Right. And they named few. They named few airlines that they are coming this way, they are buying Boeing. And I didn't say to him, but I thought that, hey, your biggest competitor is not airlines, but the technology. The day I come out with a technology where I'm able to do physical activities also without being present, you won't feel the need of travel, at least for business purpose. And you happened in 2021. The businesses ran as usual without traveling even 1 inch. Could you imagine that we as a rural player, we could manage to do the record sales doing digitally? Not even a single travel, forget about the flight travel, not even the scooter travel or a car travel. So the technology made it easy. Whether it's a virtual meeting, whether it's virtual calling, whether it's digital instant calling, instant messaging, but the purpose was solved. So this thought process, I think, is very, very important, that there is nothing unconstant in terms of changing times. Anything can happen. And now it actually, this, why I'm saying this, anything can happen anytime. So the companies need to be very, very agile. Now, fortunately in TAFE, our company has been very, very agile. And this comes from the example I got in 2019 in TAFE. And TAFE is one of the first company in the country from automotive and tractor industry to have a separate CIO and a CDO. So you can understand the maturity of a TAFE group where the chairman knew that, hey, there's a difference. You need to have a separate piece of focus for digital to take it forward as a digital initiative, though the CIO is also there. And that point of time, there were CDOs, no doubt, but all were dovetailing either into the finance with CIO or they were dovetailing into CIO. So the CIO as a head, and then they have a digital head within CIO. But here it was very clear, 2 different functions working together hand in hand, but making sure that they deliver what is expected from them. So that maturity level is a reflection that we were very agile from the day one. We were very agile. We could move from physical to digital using various technologies, thanks to our CIO, Shobna, right, and our IT team and our business who were matured enough to really adapt very fast and very conveniently to move from physical to digital.
Right.
Right. Yes, we used multiple levers. It was not only about technology. Our leaders made sure that we have daily communication, because in these times, communication is the key, make or break. You don't leave anyone to imagine. You need to communicate. You need to pass down the messages, pass down the information, pass down the expectations on daily basis so that everyone is engaged. Otherwise, you leave a room for them to create a, imagination, or some figmentation of imagination comes into the role play and all that. So that creates problems. So we were very fortunate that we were led in such a way, and that did not create any cracks in communication, that helped us to be agile enough, resilience enough to bounce back in those times, leveraging technologies. Technologies were very simple and everyone was using the same technology, whether it's virtual meeting, whether it's video calling, call centers, etc. And we did various projects. We did top projects like implementation of RPA, right? We did completely virtual. We were the first in the country to implement the complete CRM system virtually in the record of 6 months. It's a record for the CRM company also during that time. Right? And we were able to leverage certain digital assets which we had created by, again, a visionary piece which was created a year back, which helped the farmers to take the tractors on rent, J-Farm services. So we served more than 2 lakh farmers so that they can take the tractors on rent through the platform. So that way, actually, all this put together helped our organization to move at a faster pace, even those times.
Awesome, awesome. I think it really shows that digital has helped accelerate and also help people change the way they work. It's literally brought the change that was needed. I think it's a
Very true.
Great times. I mean, it was not a good time otherwise, but for organizations to realize that this change has not done disruptions at business, but disruptions the way we work. So it's good.
So what happens if you look at institutions? That's a difference between the companies, organizations, and if you look at institutions, they don't think about 2 years, 3 years. They talk about 100 years.
Yes.
Right? In a span of 100 years, this 1 year, 2 year disruption is called as an aberration. It cannot be considered as usual.
Yeah.
So keeping that in view, you really don't stop.
Correct.
Rather, you accelerate your pace, because this is a time to move ahead. This is like the maximum races are won at the pin curve.
Correct.
Right. At the pin curve, you really figure it out that do you want to accelerate or deaccelerate. Most of the new racers or the short-term benefit guys, they will deaccelerate so that they don't topple. Right. But there are some good who will accelerate because they know this is the point to move ahead of something else and go to the next level of maturity. And I think that's what we do.
Right. Absolutely. So my next question is, what percentage of work you think will remain digital now and in the next few years?
I think nothing will be 100% digital and nothing will be 100% physical. It's going to be a phygital world, right? The transactional things are slowly moving to digital. The transactional discussions are moving to digital. Yeah. But in every action, there is some moments of truth which create an emotional, or I'll say the touch points where there is a need for empathy and emotion. Right. Those will remain physical, and the rest will get into the digital mode. Right. For example, let's take an example, you and me meeting, in the complete course of ensuring that we engage together and come to this was completely digital. Right. We could have done this interview also. We are doing this digital. We are not physically in front of us, but then we are phygital. At least I am physical, you are physical sitting somewhere.
Correct.
Right. Now, we could have recorded our voice also, we could have done, but that would have not created the need of that sense of emotion and empathy, which is required to make sure that this discussion is useful, not only for us, but for the people who are going to view it.
Correct.
Right. So in a way, it will be phygital,
Yeah.
which have physical component and a digital component. It will vary from case to case. In certain cases, it could be 80-20. In certain cases, it could be 20-80.
Right. I like the word fidgeting. Awesome.
Yeah, we had been using this since long, actually. This was, I will say, coined by our chairman long time back. We were doing something on the farmer side for renters of, making their life easy with the rental platform.
Right.
So we found that you need to have a physical, digital put together, phygital.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. My one last question before we end today's episode. So any best practices, learnings that you would want to share for our viewers who are on their journey of digital transformation?
Yes. So there are many because no project or no initiative is without any experiential pieces. So for digital, what I would suggest 3 important words: think big, do small, and fail fast. If you are thinking big, don't do everything on day one, and don't expect 100% or raise the expectation of 100% perfection on day one. So it's better you have a big picture, pick up a right component within that picture, do that in a small way, right? And if there's something to fail fast. Don't make it a 6-month project. Make it only a 3 months or 90 days or 60 days. Finish that, show the outcome, see that, and then keep adding. So it's like keep adding the modules around it, or keep adding the functionalities, or whatever the change you would like to create, keep adding that. That's a very, very important thing, I will say. Then the second is understand for whom are you making this. Are you making it for yourself, or are you making it for someone you don't even know?
Right.
If you're not making for yourself, you're making for someone you don't even know, then at least invest some time in observing them.
Right.
So that even if it's not required by them at this stage, at later stage, they will be able to adapt it. So it's very important. It's very, very important to observe for whom are you going to make the solution. You may not ask them, but keep observing them, keep noting. So I always say that small data is more important than big data. And this observation is all about small data. Fix up that, you'll be able to get better benefits.
Wonderful insights, Mr. Raj. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of CIO News. I think viewers are going to get good takeaways out of our discussion. Thank you once again, and we look forward to staying in touch and having more and more discussions.
Thank you, Khushbu. The privilege was mine. Actually, I'm humbled. Pleasure was mine. So thank you once again. Take care of yourself. I really enjoyed discussion with you.
You too. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.